Kamala, 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 come out from wherever you are.
Excuse me, what are we doing right now? She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference.
Well, Donald Trump has received the message loud and clear. It is time to flush out Kamala. Make her get out there in non-scripted environments where she has to actually give an account for her record, speak without a teleprompter, so that we can have those golden, cringe Kamala moments where she proves to everyone that she is absolutely unfit to be president.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are a subscriber to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, and of course, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's the only way that we get any word out that we're here. Thank you for helping us build our algorithm. Thank you for helping us grow this channel. Thank you for being a part of the Afternoon Drive. Well, it has become apparent to everyone what the plan is with the installed Democratic nominee. Remember, Kamala hasn't won anything. She didn't even win her seat as a district attorney. She got appointed to it. She never won a presidential contest. She backed out in 2020 before the Iowa caucus because she was polling at less than 3% in her home state. She was 2% nationally. She was an embarrassment. She was a joke, and nobody found her funny. She becomes the vice president, rides to the White House on the coattails of Joe Biden and the Democratic machine. They pull off a coup by actual testimony of Nancy Botox Pelosi that they liked Joe, but he couldn't beat Trump, so he had to go. He had to do what was right. You know, that old mafioso in her just can't help herself. You do know she comes from a mafia family, right? You do know that's her parental background, right? So basically, they made Joe an offer he could not refuse. He steps aside, but he knifed them in the back because Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama all said when this was all going down that Kamala should not be anointed. She should not be just simply christened the nominee, that she should have to earn it. And a half an hour after Joe Biden, gave us the forged signature, I'm not going to run again for re-election, 30 minutes later, somebody on his staff with his Twitter account, probably somebody loyal to Kamala, said, by the way, I give my full endorsement to Kamala Harris. That was a screw you to Barack Obama. Barack Obama does not want Kamala at the top of the ticket. Don't fall for the phony endorsement from he and Michelle. He does not want her there, period. So there is a lot of infighting behind the scenes, and they are trying to create this image that there is all this momentum behind Kamala. The Friday poll numbers came out, and just as we predicted, I told you, breathe, relax, the honeymoon is over. She is beginning to come back down to planet reality, and the polls are only going to get worse for her going forward. The one thing she cannot do is speak extemporaneously. She can't do it. There is a reason she doesn't give press conferences. She has flipped and flopped on every position. Her own website doesn't even list any of her positions. It's only ways that you can donate to her. So it's basically a glorified merch site. That's it. Donald Trump, love him, hate him, can't stand him. You go to his website, there's policy. Policy, 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 policy. We're going to do this. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do this. This is how we're going to do it. You can disagree with him. But we don't know what it is we're supposed to disagree with Kamala because Kamala doesn't tell us anything other than she's for women's rights. Yet what's amazing is she's part of a political party that can't even define what a woman is. And then she picks Tim Walz as her running mate. He is a gift to the Republicans, in particular to conservatives, to MAGA. He is an absolute gift. But she, in ducking reporters, they're trying to pull off this 2020 Biden in the basement bit with her. That if they can simply keep her in front of adoring crowds, and they're trying to boast of her political rallies, which we're now finding out are filled with people who are paid to be there, homeless people, and people who are there for a free concert. On her own, she can't draw anybody. She was supposed to address the UAW in Detroit. 24 auto worker union members showed up. 24. Now, they all clapped and cheered and all of that, but she had some cringe moments in that because, again, she speaks in that word salad. You could tell she didn't want to be there. Her rallies, start to finish, only last about 40 minutes because that's about all the content she's got. Donald Trump alone can speak for an hour and a half on top of the other things that go on at a Trump rally. And even when she has a venue where she fills it, Donald Trump goes to that same venue, he fills it, and then the media forgets to tell you that there were 40,000 people more that showed up that couldn't get inside and were standing around outside watching it on Jumbotrons. Nothing like that is happening for Kamala, so there is no groundswell of support for Kamala. It is all AstroTurf. It is all manufactured. But they're trying to convince you there is a bunch of exuberant enthusiasm for her, and I'm telling you that behind closed doors, the Democratic Party doesn't want her. And they know that when she made her first presidential decision in choosing a running mate, she picked the death knell to the Democratic Party. This is not good. Trump's having a great time, by the way. He did a press conference the other day, over an hour, just fielded questions. He was rude. He was vintage Trump. He is who he is. But he stood there. Kamala hasn't got what it takes to stand there and do a press conference, does she? And now, even the pundits in the secular media, the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, who carried the water for 4 years for Joe Biden, and they got egg all over their face for it at the result of that debate, they've made the internal decision no more. Even though they kind of fawn and fan a little bit that, they're for Kamala and anybody but Trump, there's a part of them that they know the American people do not trust the media anymore. And so now they want an opportunity to hold Kamala to account, and this even became a battle at CNN.
She's going to take questions. We're going to make sure of that. But, there's been a bit of a honeymoon period. I think she's giving Tim Walz a moment.
Let me just also say this. Don't nobody care but us about somebody taking questions. No, that is very true.
I speak to swing state voters all the time.
But
they have questions, they want answers.
No. But yes, they have questions, they want answers. But you know what doesn't have to happen? Audie doesn't have to ask those questions.
Yes, Audie does have to ask those questions.
Political does not.
Because when fans ask them, Bakari, when friends ask them, when surrogates ask them, they're not getting the real answer. That's why Audie needs to ask them.
This is so in the Beltway.
No, it really isn't. I'm telling you, Bakari, I speak to swing state voters every single day.
Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. And we know what happens when Kamala speaks extemporaneously. It's not good. These are memes waiting to happen, and this is why they're trying to hide her. That all said, she has one major decision that she had to make was who's going to be her running mate, and she picks Tim Walz, which at first everybody was like, who? And they're trying to sell him as this cuddly grandfather. And he's the one that coined the term weird in describing J.D. Vance. But already, a week out the gate, he's lied about J.D., he talked about the whole couch incident with JD, which has been debunked and has been proven to be a total fabrication that JD Vance did something, quote, immoral with a couch. But yet, Walz is out there talking about it, and even Democrats and Democratic pundits are saying, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But he does it anyway. They tried to sell him to us as he's like this folksy grandfather. He drives a minivan. He goes hunting. He likes dogs, but he's a social progressive. No, he's a communist. He's a Marxist communist. It's in his state that they have authorized that illegal aliens can have driver's licenses, which is your proof of ID to vote. His state gives free health care and free education to illegal aliens. and his wife is such a libloon. This is what she had to say regarding the George Floyd riots, which were happening in their state and burning Minneapolis and St. Paul and other major cities in Minnesota to the ground. This is what she had to say.
I could smell the burning tires. And that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
She loves the smell of burning tires.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You do know that those burning tires represent people's personal property. Small business owners who had saved and scraped for a lifetime to launch a business lost. The taxpayers of Minnesota were left with hundreds of millions of dollars in damage that out of their taxes have to pay to replace police stations, police equipment. Downtown areas of metropolitan cities destroyed, people's lives destroyed and shattered over an incident that didn't even happen in Minneapolis or Minnesota. But she loves it. It's wonderful. Marxists love revolution. They love chaos because while we're ripping and tearing at each other, the oligarch, the government, is stripping us of our rights and putting burdensome regulation on top of us because we're too busy fighting each other. That's why I've said in 2020, and I reiterate it, this can't be about left versus right. This has to be about right versus wrong. It's not about conservative versus liberal, Democrat versus Republican. It's about them, the ruling class, versus us. And trust me when I say this, Kamala thinks she's a hottie Harris, represents the deep state. She represents the government. She represents everything that wants to strip you of your rights, endless war, endless police state. That's who Kamala Harris is. Don't fall for the bullhawk.
And you know, we have to stay woke. Like everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
Keep calling her out, Mr. President. Make her come out from hiding. Don't let them script this like they did 2020. Don't let them hide her. Get her out there. Get her on record.